Hello, Bobby Jones here with the V-Gram that I wanted to just drop real quick because of what's happening on Capitol Hill as we speak. This week, confirmation hearings for the incoming administration for President Trump have begun. And we at VFRL have penned a joint letter along with the Chamberlain Network, Modern Military Association of America, the Truman National Security Project, and Common Defense, expressing our concern with the nominations of specifically three individuals: Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, and Tulsi Gabbard. Right now, I want to just focus on Pete Hegseth, the nominee for Secretary of Defense. Understand something. That position is really close to one of the top 5 most powerful people in the world. And based on his confirmation hearing, it confirmed what we expressed in our letter to Senator Jack Reed, the ranking member of the Senate Armed Service Committee. Number one, we question the integrity of the individual. We're talking about somebody who has been allegedly accused of sexual assault, had to sign an NDA to keep that hushed. We're talking about an individual that ran not one, but 2 veteran-related charities into the ground. We're talking about an individual that has been on record many times questioning the role of women in the military, questioning the advancement of people of color and other demographics, because he says it's a product of DEI. He talks about all of these things that are not only archaic, but hurts mission readiness for our military. He thinks it was crazy that we spent the time and money on having DEI training, but yet we see overwhelmingly how many veterans were involved in the January 6th attacks on Capitol Hill in the same building that he made and repeated these statements. Instead of being able to answer questions about his competency, for example, when Senator Duckworth asked about what countries are in ASEAN, he had no idea what that was. He didn't know it was a 10-member alliance to stave off America's number 1 near-peer competitor militarily, China. He had no clue. Instead of being able to talk about the powers and the authorities the Secretary of Defense had, he pivoted back to culture war talk. Culture war talk, because that's where he's comfortable. The difference between being Secretary of Defense and a talking head on a network is you have not just authority, but you have responsibility to every family that is sending their young person under your care and stewardship. And if you can't tell the truth about your own personal life, if you can't tell me what that organization is, or this alliance is, or this, that, and the other, and you knew you had a confirmation hearing coming up, that shows me you didn't care to at least do your homework on an open book test. The most important job interview of your life, and you did not know the basics of what the job was that you're applying for. There's a sense of intellectual arrogance that is scary by watching that. I'm not saying the man has to be perfect. I'm not even talking about his policies. I'm talking about the character that has been exhibited by this man in a public sphere and his answers to basic questions about whether or not he will obey the Constitution of the United States, or will he pledge fealty and loyalty to an individual. He is immensely unqualified from an actual knowledge standpoint, and I would argue that due to some of his shady past, he could be compromised in this role. The United States of America is bigger than one person. It is bigger than one person who happens to have authority. We have checks and balances for a reason. If the United States Senate confirms him, then they are literally abdicating their number 1 responsibility, and that is the confirmation of those closest to the commander-in-chief. We at Veterans for Responsible Leadership believe in ethical leadership. We don't care the party. We're not here to discuss policy. We're here to discuss character and competency for the best United States we can create. I hope you write your senators. I hope you tell your members of Congress that you want a standard applied to leadership moving forward. If you have any questions or comments, please email me immediately and let me know how we can best address some of these issues we may have. Have a good one.